So the third actual time that I astral projected, I didn't astral project into my room or my house. I projected into my office at work. And that is when I knew shit was about to get really interesting, right? So the trigger is always sleep paralysis. I think that if you experience sleep paralysis, that is like the clue to say, hey, you can exit your body now, right? So that morning when that happened, um, I felt sleep paralysis happen. And I said, okay, cool, we're doing this. I'm not afraid anymore, how it was in the past 13 years. So I relaxed, and the next thing that happened, the best way I could describe this was it seemed like a fade, like a transition type fade sequence, like this, like everything gets black, and then it slowly starts to come to vision. The vision just starts to get more clear. So when my vision gets clear, I pop into my office, right? And in the astral realm, the astral plane, whatever you want to call it, everything looks different, as I stated before in my past video. So my office looked a bit off, right? My desk had a bed behind it. Now, there's no bed in the physical world. Like, I don't have a bed behind there. It's like a twin size mattress just up against the wall. So I thought that was off. Like, hey, okay, why is there a bed there? So I turn around, and into the main part where my soldiers work at, it looked pretty much the same, except there was like their workstations were pushed up against the wall, and it was more of like an open floor concept. So like the middle of the room was like open, empty, and there we have a printer in there, and the printer is just continuously printing paper, like one after one, one after one, one after one, right? So I'm standing there and I'm listening to the printer, and I'm looking around. Then everything gets black again. My vision gets black. I can't see anything. So when my vision comes back, I can look around, but I'm in this dark void. Just this dark. Everything around me is just complete darkness, right? So I'm like, okay, where the fuck am I at now, right? So I look down, and as I look down, I feel my body start to float down, right? And I feel my feet touch water and eventually touch the surface, right? And my mind, it seems like I was in a box, like a rectangular box. Like my mind just interpreted as, hey, you're not just in a dark void in space, you're in a box, okay? I couldn't tell, like I couldn't touch all four walls or anything like that, but I could tell that I was in a rectangular shaped box. So as I'm floating down, I touch water and my feet touch the surface. So the interesting thing about that was when I touched the water, it was a sound that, when you drop like a single drop of water into a puddle or a pool or anything like that, and it makes that sound, like that bloop sound. It was that, but the sound was just amplified, maybe because, I was in that box. So it wasn't like a deafening sound to where it hurt my ears or anything like that. It was just a really loud, splash sound, right? So I look up, and as I look up, my body starts to go up again. And as I'm looking up, I can see stars and, like a constellation. And it looked like if you live somewhere where there's not a lot of light pollution, and you can see the entire like Milky Way galaxy, like that's how it looked. But it was a purplish, whitish kind of hue to it, right? So I'm looking around, and next thing you know, my body just begins to flip like uncontrollably. Like I'm flipping over, and then it goes backwards, then it goes sideways, and it freaks me the fuck out, right? But before that, right? I didn't see a clock, but I could tell that it was like my mind just knew that there was a clock, like a big circular analog clock, like an old school clock with the hour hand, a minute hand, and the second hand. Like it was that, and it was white, kind of like a creamish white with a brown like casing around it, right? So yeah, so getting back to like me having no control over my body, it's just flipping over, and it just freaks me the fuck out, right? So next thing you know, boom, I snap back into my body, right? And I open my eyes, kind of look around, and I'm like, what the fuck was that, right? So I'm trying to remember, like, I take a minute to just relax and just think about, what just happened. It's like, okay, I came out of my body, went into my office, and then I went into this void. What does that mean? Because before, when I was projecting, I was coming into my bedroom, leaving my bedroom, going outside, things like that. But never did I have anything like that happen, right? So I did some research into it, and the best explanation that I could find was, the office, me going there is because, I'm familiar with that setting, right? And it was kind of twofold, right? So I had put in my retirement packet to get out the Army. So when I went into the void is like a transition stage, like for before you go to the next level. So where I was at before, do you remember when I told you in my astral projection experiences before, everything was really dark, kind of either really dark or like a green, hazy kind of setting. That is the lower, like one of the lowest levels of astral projection, right? So the void is the transition stage. So it's kind of like, both in the same, like I'm preparing to transition out of the Army. That's why I went to my office. And I'm preparing to transition into the next stage of astral projection, right? So the box, why I felt that I was in a rectangular box. So the astral plane, the astral realm, whatever you want to call it, there's not a whole lot of information out there. Some of it could be pseudoscience. There's no definite way to really prove it. But the way that the mind, the human mind, interprets that as that void was, I couldn't really tell what I was at. So my mind shaped it as a box to give it structure. Because humans, that's what we want. We want to have structure. We want to know what this is. So my mind made it a rectangular box, right? The water represents like balance, right? So it wasn't deep enough for me to drown or anything in. So there was no reason for me to be fearful. And I felt that, like I wasn't fearful of the water. The stars, the constellation, like that is, when I'm looking up, that is the next stages of where you can go. Like each star is like gateways. And, the clock. So the clock, obviously that's time. But it's not time in the same sense that we think of in the physical world. It represents time in the astral plane. So that's why I couldn't see physically see the clock or visually see the clock, but my mind could tell that there was a clock there. So it was time for me to transition to the next stage of astral projection, right? So that was my third time astral projection. But real quick, I want to ask, has anyone ever experienced the void projecting into another place outside of your home or your room. And if you do, let me know in the comments. My explanation about the void, is it true? Is it untrue? Let me know, right? So part 4 is coming up, and trust me, you're gonna want to tune into that one because it is gonna be really fucking weird. So I'll see you guys next time.